Welcome to the next installment of the Wing Gambit. The Wing Gambit is something that I play almost exclusively against the Sicilian because there are so many types of Sicilians and people know so much about the Sicilian and the type they play in particular that it became practically impossible. And in fact, it's one of the reasons I stopped playing tournament chess at a certain point. It's because I could have just studied the Sicilian and nothing else till the end of time, and I didn't have the time. Instead, I chose to go into business and do something with my life. However, the Sicilian defense is a tremendous defense for black, and if there's a way to defeat the Sicilian defense, it's to play something that Sicilian defense players really don't know very well, even if it means accepting equality as white. So one of the things that we do is we make b4 get in their own way. Now, from time to time, when black plays d5 to liberate themselves in the cramped positions that they get, they take this pawn that's on b4 and take en passant at c3, which is fine because it develops our knight. And in that case, we don't play the French that's unfavorable for black, which is a semi-closed game. Instead, we play a very open game, and this is an example of that. This is a very open game, and I'm going to show it to you now. We'll start our engine. I don't like the fact that black played knight to c3 or c6 so early in this game. e6 seems like the correct move, and d5 is also a good move if they play perfectly. Now the fact is that they have to take now with the queen. If they hadn't played c6, the knight wouldn't be attacked. So now c4 is the right move. We play it, and we develop our knight. And so for the pawn, we have a more open position, a little better development, and some presence in the center. And black has a queen that's being harassed. So queen to a5 is the right move. A lot of players have played a lot of other things. And of course that's the proper move to make in response. And now e6, the sharpest players move e6, locking in their white squared bishop because it's important to prevent d5. And it's also an answer to hopping the knight out. When we hop the knight out, he wants to play bishop to b4. And so the move that I play in response to e6 is a3. And a3 is a rather interesting, different type of move. Now, in this particular case, the computer never considers it. It just considers things like bishop to c4 and d3 and rook to b1, and once again, even game. I'm going to play a3. And it's really not marginally much worse than what the computer has already discovered is a good move. So now it says he wants to play knight to f6. He plays his bishop or queen back to d1. A lot of players do that. They get nervous, about now the knight coming somewhere, and now they can't block with the bishop on b4. And so they go back, they're double attacking the d pawn. And the computer has always recommended bishop to d3 here. I play bishop to b5, which isn't a bad move either. And now just natural development, knight to f6 gives black full equality. He moves his bishop. Now what's wrong with moving that bishop? Well, not very much actually. The fact is that queen to e2 is a good move for white at this point. I believe I probably castle in this position. The fact is that you want to get in d5 if you can do it as white. If you do it right away, you open up the e-file, and that's not necessarily advantageous to white if he hasn't castled. And he kicks. We retreat to c4, knight to f6, and now d5. And d5 gets rid of the isolated queen pawn, opens the king file now that we're castled and poised to put our rook on it. And there are some advantages to it, but it's very hard now to keep black's king in the center. Now just bishop to e7, which is what he plays. And the momentum shot here, according to the computer, is queen to b3. I play rook to e1. Once again, very even game. He's just going to castle. Now I play queen to b3. I'm attacking the b pawn and the f7 pawn, and he has to be a little careful. It says I should play my rook to c1. I play it to d1, and the computer didn't like that as much. A quartered pawn's different almost, because now this is the natural place for his queen to go, c7. And now I play my bishop out with the idea of trying to force an exchange. Black does have the two bishops, and I want to go after the f7 square, and we'll see how he responds. It says bishop takes g5 is a good move. Knight takes g5. Now bishop to f5, defending, and instead he plays his knight over, and he gets a shot. So here, actually, it says queen to g3 is the strongest move. Queen to g3, which is virtually winning. I take the pawn. So we'll see how this works out. The computer doesn't like it as much, probably because the computer's defends so well. So he takes back with the knight. We pin. And now he's got to move his king into the corner, giving up the piece. Instead, he blunders his queen. So in a way, this is kind of a silly game to look at. But the fact is that it's so simple, and we're so early in the game, that even a strong player is going to fall apart under the pressure of what happens in these open games like this. So we've taken him out of his game, and this was a kind of a ridiculous, blunder on his part, but he was lost anyway for the most part. So that's another example of the wing gambit and what to do about moving his pawn to d5 early.